If you're texting leads and getting ghosted, this video is for you. Hey, this is Gavin at Project Blue. Today, we're gonna be a little bit more tactical. We're gonna talk exactly about the messages that we use to get leads to actually respond, engage, and get into a conversation. Because that's exactly what we want. We want more engagement and more conversations so that you can get the best conversion on all of your leads. So why do leads go silent? Let's get one thing straight, it's not personal. If you're in B2B sales, you're usually talking to a decision maker or a business owner. And as soon as you get off that sales call, they are back into the throes of their business. That means they're putting out fires, they're dealing with all the problems that no one else can, and they usually get busy. They forgot about you, your offer, what you do. So while you're in that sales conversation, that's important to establish that framework of here's what we do, here's how we offer, here's the problems that we solve. And we'll maybe do some separate videos if you guys want to about sales and process. But today we're gonna be talking about the messaging. And so, like I just said, once they get off that call with you, they're back into their world and their business. They're not even thinking about you. So your message needs to convey importance, to remind them of what you do, how you do it, why you do it, so that you can get them to engage with you and move them forward in the decision-making process, because that's all you want to do in your sales is help someone make the right decision and solve a problem for them. So that's all your job is try and bring them back into the conversation, back to the moment that they could address the problem, their need with you. So don't try and do too much in your messaging. You're not trying to sell or close them with your messaging. You're just trying to get them to re-engage. So that's super important to remember that when you're doing marketing or you're doing any kind of messaging, your job is to just disrupt their pattern and get them to re-engage with you, not try and go through the process to try and close them with that message. Just get them to the next step. Another important thing about your messaging is to maintain frame. So when you're communicating with a sales lead or prospect, you want to make sure that the sales is a leadership game. You don't want to be begging or come off as desperate or have commission breath. That will turn a prospect off and not want them to engage with you. So if you come across as that stage 5 clinger or have to beg to get them to move through that process, that's actually going to do the opposite and push them away from your company or your brand. You start to sound like the please respond guy. You give off that energy that no prospect or business leader wants to go through. If you're solving an actual problem, they will engage and respond with you if they have a need. So your offer is super important. There's a ton of information. Alex Hormozi wrote a whole book on how to craft the right offer, but that's super important that you have to actually provide value and solve a problem if you even want someone to engage with your business. But again, the last thing you want to do is come off as desperate or weak in this process. So how do you actually do that? It comes down to what you actually say. And to take frame back is asking the right questions. You want to use not close-ended questions, but open-ended questions that invite someone back into a conversation. So what is the difference between a close-ended question and an open-ended question? Well, a close-ended question usually has a yes or no, right? Where they could do a one-word response and close down that question. An open-ended question is something that's going to want to open the conversation or leave space for them to actually have a longer response to you. So this is an example of a close-ended question. Did we get you everything you needed to make a decision? Now, it's a good question on the surface, right? Did we give you everything you need to make a decision? And you might get lucky and they may respond to that because again, you're just trying to find out, do they have all the information to make that decision? While this is good, it just may trigger a quick response straight to a yes or straight to a no, and that closes down the conversation. So you might want to think about it just a little bit different. Let me show you an open-ended question. That might sound like this. What information are you missing to make the decision, right? So big difference between did we get you all the information to what information are you missing? Now they have to actually pause, think about what you just asked them. What was this again? How do I re-engage to pull them back into the conversation, to open up that communication channel? Because again, that's all we're trying to do is just open up the communication, get them back into our sales process. And that is the key. The right question unlocks the next move. So again, if we're thinking about our sales process in different stages, that's all we want to do is get them to move from point A to point B. And you do that by taking back the frame and asking the right questions. So what is a high converting follow-up message? Well, here's 7 different messages you could put into your sales flow to increase that conversation or conversion into the next step. One of them I just covered. What information are you missing to make your decision, right? Open that conversation, find out what they need so they can move forward. Have we done enough to earn your business, right? Now you could find out what they're actually looking for from the service provider, hopefully yourself. Are you still exploring options or have you already chosen a direction, right? You want to find out, are they still in the decision-making process? Did they forget? Are they stalled out? Or did they go with one of your competitors? Again, the whole point of this is just bring them back into a conversation so you can move them through your process. Was there anything unclear that I could clear up for you? Would it make sense to reconnect this week to see where we stand? Was there something in particular you were looking for from your service provider? These are some great questions you could use to take back frame and get someone to re-engage with your sales process. Nobody closes 100% of their deals, leads, or prospects. It just doesn't happen. Your job is to shrink that gap from uncertainty to certainty with every single touch. So great follow-up isn't about being clever. It's about being clear and confident. You're not chasing the yes, you're just leading someone to a decision. If you want a list of different messages you could use, maybe a framework tool, go ahead and comment the word below scripts and we can send you over that. Or if you want to have a longer meeting to learn how Project Blue actually helps you increase your deliverability inside your sales process, go ahead and let us know or click the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one call and we can discuss this process and see if it makes sense to put not only new messages inside your business, but the right platform to make sure that your messages actually get delivered and actually get read by your prospects, which again is super important because you could have the best messages in the world, but if no one is reading them or sees them or their device is actually blocking them, it doesn't even matter. So I hope this quick video is helpful to help you analyze all of your messages inside your sales process and make those small improvements every single day. So thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next one.